This conference will now be recorded.
Sorry. Great. All right.
That's a good idea. It kind of reminds me of what Stan used to do. Just kind of be like, all right, and we got through the votes really quick that way. So I think that's a great idea. I would be willing to be the one to make a motion to vote.
That'd be great. Who can volunteer to second after Lena? Lieutenant Ronald? Great. Okay, that's how it's gonna flow. All right, it is now 5:30. I'm gonna call this meeting to order. Traffic Commission meeting, June 9th, 2022. May we get a vote for quorum, please? Laura, does everybody have a quorum?
Yes, we do.
All righty. Am I missing any procedural things, Laura, to get this going as far as it? Do we have to have a roll call vote to get going?
Yes, I'll take a roll call vote
Okay.
for attendance.
Great.
Okay. Jill Lathan,
Here?
Lena Webb,
Here.
Thomas Graney,
Here.
and Lieutenant Rymel.
Here.
Okay, and Councilor Gomez Muakad will be absent tonight. We do have 4 members, so we have a quorum.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. All right, just to get us going, meeting ground rules, listen to the other side, focus on issues, not personalities, avoid questioning motives, and be polite, please. All right, item number 1, acceptance of minutes from the May 12th, 2022 Traffic Commission meeting. Any discussion about the minutes or any corrections? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion to vote.
Can we get a roll call? Who's that? The staticky noise.
Yeah.
You're not speaking. Can you turn off the mic, please? Or can you mute folks that are?
Yep.
All right. Roll call vote, acceptance of the meeting minutes from May 12th.
Okay, I just want to confirm that was, Lena, that was a motion to approve the minutes, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Lena Webb,
Yes.
Thomas Graney,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel.
Yes.
Okay, so we have 3 yeses and 1 abstain. The motion passes.
Wonderful. Item number 2, request long day. Request for a fire lane on the side of Kingman Road entire length. Who is here to speak on this item?
Yeah, Tom Graney is here to speak on these. You've all read the letters from the chief. They're having trouble getting the apparatus down the down Kingman Road to the rear of the charter school. So he's requesting that fire lane the entire length of Kingman Road. And it's important that we have accessibility to that area. And we need this fire line to assure that we will have it.
Do you have any discussion on the item? Hearing none, may I get a motion to vote, please?
I'll make the motion to vote.
Second.
All right. A motion, this is a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Great. Roll call vote, please. Item number 2.
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Thomas Graney,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel.
Yes.
Okay, by a vote of 3 yeses and 1 abstain, motion passes.
Great, thank you. Item number 3, request for a fire lane at 25 Pickney Street extending 24 feet south. Who is here to address this item?
Tom Graney from the fire department, and this is, again, you have a letter from the chief in pictures. It's been a very difficult turn at that elbow on Pinckney Street, and our company officers have been complaining that they can't make the swing down the street. So the chief is requesting a fire lane that will extend 24 feet south, and that should give us enough room so that we can make that bend and make that corner.
Any discussion? Yes, Lena?
I'm curious, kind of what goes into making a fire lane. Is it paint? Are there markings? I don't know that I've ever seen one, and so this is just a clarification for me.
No, they're real regular signs that are put up by the traffic commission, and they'll be marked as fire lanes. And generally speaking, they have arrows on them that show you the direction of the fire lane, where it begins and where it ends.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, can I get a motion to vote to approve or to not approve on this item?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Can I get a
I will
second?
second that.
Wonderful. Roll call vote to approve item number 3. Request a fire lane at 25 Pickney Street extending 24 feet south.
Okay. Lena Webb?
Yes.
Thomas Graney?
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel?
Yes.
Okay, by a vote of 3-0 with 1 abstaining, the motion passes.
Wonderful, thank you. Item number 4, request for handicap parking, 67 Jock Street. Who is here from administration to discuss this item?
Adrienne Pomeroy, ADA Coordinator with the City of Somerville. Thank you for your time. I reviewed the application for a handicap parking spot at 67 Jock Street and the residents' application. And I am recommending to the Traffic Commission that they put this in place in order to increase accessibility for this resident into her home. She does utilize a walker, so this would make it easier for her, especially with everyday trips to the grocery store and other members of her family, to get her into her home safely and increase that accessibility for her. Thank you.
Wonderful. Items for discussion? Hearing none, may I get a motion to approve or not approve for item number 4, please?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Wonderful. Roll call vote, please.
Lena Webb?
Yes.
Thomas Graney?
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel?
Yes.
Okay, by a vote of 3 yeses and 1 abstain, the motion passes.
Wonderful. On to item number 5. Request for changes to the following truck restriction regulations. A, rescind the truck restriction regulations on Clyde Street, Elliott Street, Morrison Ave, Grant Street, Murdoch Street, Newton Street, Union Street, Warwick Street, Webster Ave, Wheatland Street. That's A. B, remove the time limit of 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. for the following truck restriction locations: Cypress Street, Day Street, Dover Street, Everett Ave, Kensington Ave, Oxford Street, Prospect Hill Parkway, Prospect Street, and Russell Street. Who is here for administration to discuss this item?
Chair, I think Jessica Bello, traffic engineer. Jessica, I think you're on mute.
Thank you, Brad. I had started explaining. Jessica Bello, traffic engineer, City of Somerville. Start all over. I have reviewed the truck restrictions that we have on record from previous traffic commission meetings against the documents that we have on record with the state, the Massachusetts Department of Transportation. And I reviewed them also with Laura and with Suzanne, parking director. And the streets listed on item A are not on the state's restriction list. And in reviewing them, we determined that they were no longer needed because the factories and manufacturing plants that used to be in those areas no longer exist. For item number B, the state has those streets on their list of truck restrictions. However, they have them listed as 24-hour restrictions. So we are proposing to remove the time limit that is currently a nighttime truck restriction limit from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. so that what we have on file will match what the state has on file with these streets as being 24-hour restrictions.
And if I could be given screen sharing ability, I also have a map for the commission to review for the items A or for item 5A.
Sure. If you could just introduce yourself, Adam, when you get the map up, that'd be great.
Yes, sure thing. Just get here first. Good evening, everyone. My name is Adam Polinsky. I am the PACE Senior Planner in the Mobility Division. And to supplement the item 5A that Jessica just described, here is a map with an overview of those particular streets where we are requesting that the truck restrictions are rescinded.
Any discussion or questions for item 5A or B? All right, hearing none, may I get a motion to approve or deny item 5A and B?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I will second.
Can I get a roll call vote, please, on item 5A and B?
Okay, Lena Webb,
Yes.
Thomas Graney,
Yes.
and Lieutenant Rymel.
Yes.
Okay, by a vote of 3 yeses and 1 abstain, the item passes.
Wonderful. Oh, wait for there we go. Item number 6, moving on. Request to facilitate the location of the Out of the Blue outdoor seating. We're requesting the relocation of the loading zone from the restaurant to Davis Square Liquors. This would result in the outdoor seating plan located entirely within a metered parking location and pursuant to the general license for outdoor seating previously approved by the Traffic Commission. Who is here to discuss this item?
Jessica Bello is here again on behalf of engineering to discuss this item. And if I can get screen sharing, I can show an image of where we're proposing to relocate the loading zone. So we are currently proposing to relocate the loading zone that is located right in front of Out of the Blue to in front of the liquor store, right here.
Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, may I get a motion to a vote or to deny this item number 6, please?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Thomas Graney,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel.
Yes.
Okay, so by a vote of 3 yeses and 1 abstain, the motion passes.
Wonderful. On to item number 7. Request to facilitate the location of the Sam Ganger, pardon me if I totally slaughtered that name, outdoor seating. We are requesting the consolidation of the full-time loading zone in front of the restaurant with the existing part-time loading zone in front of the USPS and relocating the meters in front of the USPS to in front of this Sam Ginger. Can somebody just tell me how to say that correctly so I'm not butchering this? Or, Brian, how do you say that restaurant?
Siam.
Siam, all right, Siam Ginger. This will result in an outdoor seating plan located entirely within a metered parking location and pursuant to the general license for outdoor seating previously approved by the Traffic Commission. Who is here to discuss this item?
That's me again, Jessica Bello.
All right.
And if I can get screen sharing, I can show an image, and I can also pop up the street view to show the post office. So I'm going to start with, let me show you the screen view. Where am I? Just had it. That's okay. I'll start here. These are all of the signs that are currently denoting the loading zone spaces in this area. And we are proposing to have, let's see if I minimize if it's there. Oh, not quite. I have 1,000 windows up, and I could have swore I had one prepared just for this with, here it is. Okay, so this is where the post office is located. This is where we are proposing to relocate the loading zone so that there would be 1 meter in front of Union Square Donuts and 1 meter in front of Siam Ginger. And those meter spaces would be general meter spaces with a full-time loading zone in front of the post office.
Any discussion on item number 7? Lena?
I just want to say, it seems like these changes are going to be kind of mutually beneficial both to the liquor store, because I know they get big deliveries, and also the post office. So I think it makes a lot of sense to put those loading zones there, and I support that arrangement.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, may I get a motion to approve or deny item number 7?
I will make a motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Wonderful. Roll call vote, please. Item number 7.
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Thomas Graney,
Yes.
Lieutenant Reinl.
Yes.
Okay, so by a vote of 3 yeses and 1 abstain, the motion passes.
Wonderful. Item number 8. Regarding the curb on the north side of Somerville Ave from approximately 30 feet east of Bow Market Way to approximately 50 feet east of Bow Market Way, request to convert the metered parking to a loading zone, 20-minute commercial, 5-minute passenger at all times. Who is here to discuss this item? Jessica, is this you again, or?
Chair, this is Adam Polinsky. I think Brad was going to kick us off, but it seems like he may have dropped, so I can fill in. If I could get screen sharing again, we can actually take some of the items going forward in batches for which we have slides. So I think speed things along and give the commission a little bit more context for these items because some of them are associated with one project and we have multiple items for each.
Adam, before we bundle, are there particular numbers I need to read out loud first to bundle?
Yes, so if either I can do it or if you want to, I have it up here. So this is all in regards to Somerville Ave Bow Market. So items 8 through 10 as shown on the screen now are all in regards to the same project.
Great, if you could just read out loud the particular items that we're bundling so people know what we're talking about if they're just listening.
Sure, I'll go that for, I think we're mobilities items 8 through 32, so I'll do that for each of these. So
Wonderful.
for this one, for Somerville Ave at Bow Market, item number 8 is regarding the curb on the north side of Somerville Ave from approximately 30 feet east of Bow Market Way to approximately 50 feet east of Bow Market Way. The request is to convert the metered parking to a loading zone, 20-minute commercial and 5-minute passenger at all times. Item 9, regarding the curb on the north side of Somerville Ave from approximately 50 feet east of Bow Market Way to approximately 85 feet east of Bow Market Way. The request is to convert the loading zone that is currently from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then pick up and drop off only from 12 p.m. to 8 a.m. Regulation to a loading zone, again, 20-minute commercial and 5-minute passenger at all times. Finally, item number 10 is regarding the curb in front of 347 Somerville Ave, request to convert approximately 20 feet of metered parking to accessible parking. In terms of additional context here, here is an overview of the 3 items that are part of this request. So currently, Bow Market Way is right here, which leads to Bow. It's essentially a driveway to Bow Market, Somerville Ave, sort of going left right here. We have a metered parking space currently. We just installed a couple bike racks, which are just for reference, but are not part of the actual request. A fire hydrant here, where you cannot park within 10 feet of that, followed by another metered parking space, and then the current loading and pickup drop-off only zone. And then our proposal, which I have also been working with Adrian on, as well as Suzanne, our engineering team, Jessica, we've all sort of worked on this together, is to put an accessible parking space, replace the metered parking space with an accessible parking space in front of 347 Somerville Ave, which gives you a little bit more space for this bike rack in particular, because we're going to just shift that back slightly. And here's the driveway here, so it's dead space otherwise. And then that 1 meter plus the loading zone there will become a loading zone, which will function for both 5-minute sort of passenger vehicle plates, and then a little bit longer for those commercial vehicle plates at all hours of the day. So it's just a little bit simpler and gives a little bit more space for those activities which are in very high demand at this location.
Great. Items for discussions 8, 9, and 10. Hearing none, may I get a motion to approve or deny items 8, items 9, or items 10? This is a bundle.
I make a motion, I approve these changes.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote for items 8, 9, and 10, please.
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Thomas Graney,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 3 yeses, 1 abstain. Items 8, 9, and 10 pass.
Wonderful. Adam, are there further bundles for the next piece?
Yeah, so if I could actually have screen share, I can show all of these items all the way through 32. I can just keep my screen up and we can run through it that way if that works for everyone. So I stand corrected. Item number 11 is just a single one because it's a little bit simpler, but I believe the rest are all part of bundles. But item number 11 regarding the curb in front of 101 South Street, which is a new development that has recently gone in Boynton Yards. The request to convert approximately 75 feet of curb from no parking anytime to a loading zone, 20-minute commercial and 5-minute passenger from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. and residential permit parking only from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. The context here is that on this side of South Street, there was no parking at any time prior to this development going in, and this sort of bulb out here was created as part of this development, but it was never officially changed to anything different in the Traffic Commission regulations. So we're seeking approval today to have that converted to, or to be approved as a loading zone, and then residential permit parking overnight.
Thank you. This is up for discussion.
I do have one consideration. So adding these loading zones everywhere is a boon to bike lanes and also to other types of parking, because a lot of time trucks will use the bike lane as a loading zone and also use metered parking spaces. My only concern with this turning into a loading zone is how close it is to the bike lane. And I wonder if there's anything we could do to make sure that people pull all the way into that loading zone and not just use the bike lane there, because delivery people will do this anyway. And if they're invited into that area, I want to know if there's going to be any safety measures for that.
Chair, this is Brad Rawson, Director of Mobility at OSPCD. Thank you for the question. Our office will be happy to work with the landowner, the developer, the employers at 101 South, who could be anticipating regular weekly or monthly deliveries, for example. and make sure that they understand that their contractors, their deliveries, their operators are expected to not encroach and undermine safety in that bike lane. I think it's a good point, and we do have the ability to relay those messages to the users of the space. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
Director Rawson, when they're doing that development, are there any sort of ballards that would be helpful to help encourage them to pull all the way into that loading zone?
Chair, I don't know off the top of my head. However, we can arrange for a site visit at a time when a delivery is scheduled. The building is fully occupied at this point. And again, we meet with the owners regularly to troubleshoot issues associated with the new development. So we'd be happy to go observe conditions, take photographs, and then do any course correction as needed.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve or to deny item number 11, please?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Item number 11 to approve.
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Thomas Graney,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel.
Yes.
Okay, by a vote of 3 yeses and 1 abstain, item number 11 passes.
Wonderful. All right, Adam, our next bundle, please.
Through the chair, items 12 through 16 are all in regards to the upcoming Pearl Street Mobility Improvements Project. I can go over just a very quick high-level summary of what those improvements entail. In terms of curb use changes, it is items 12 through 16 on today's agenda. I will read those out now. Item 12, regarding the curb on the north side of Pearl Street from approximately 80 feet east of Franklin Street to approximately 40 feet east of Franklin Street. Request to convert the residential permit parking only regulation to a loading zone from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. 20-minute commercial, 5-minute passenger, and then residential permit parking only from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. Item 13, regarding the curb on the north side of Pearl Street from approximately 50 feet west of Franklin Street to approximately 20 feet west of Franklin Street. Request to convert the residential permit parking only regulation to no parking anytime. Item number 14, regarding the curb on the east side of Cross Street from approximately 135 feet south of Pearl Street, approximately 100 feet south of Pearl Street. Request to convert the 2-hour parking except by permit regulation to metered parking from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and residential permit parking only from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. Item number 15, regarding the curb on the east side of Cross Street from approximately 100 feet south of Pearl Street to approximately 70 feet south of Pearl Street. Request to convert the 2-hour parking except by permit regulation to a load 20-minute commercial, 5-minute passenger from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and residential permit parking only from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. And then item number 16, regarding the curb on the east side of Cross Street from approximately 70 feet south of Pearl Street to approximately 40 feet south of Pearl Street. Request to add a 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. residential permit parking only regulation to the current 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. loading zone regulation, which is 20-minute commercial and 5-minute passenger. For additional context, the Pearl Street Mobility Improvements Project is an upcoming construction project that Mobility has just completed a community design process for construction, assuming that we get all the approvals that we need today will progress as early as later this summer. We have a lot of things recommended in this project, most of which do not change curb uses along Pearl Street in any way. We have a number of speed humps up and down the corridor, a couple of raised intersections, some raised crosswalks at Rush Street outside of the East Somerville Community School, as well as a couple of neighborhood traffic circles, which will be the first in the city at both Glen Street and Myrtle Street. And a new sort of standard style crosswalk down at the end of Pearl Street crossing Mount Vernon Street. In terms of what we're here for today and the items I just read through, item number 12 refers to this section of curb on the north side of Pearl, just east of Franklin. Item 13 is on the north side of Pearl, just west of Franklin. And then items 14 through 16 are all referring to a small piece of curb down here on Cross Street The existing on-street parking on Pearl is shown in orange in this diagram, so it is on both sides between McGrath Highway and Cross, just on the north side between Cross and Franklin, and then it is on both sides again as you go from Franklin all the way over to Mount Vernon. That will be largely unchanged except for these items 12 through 16 here. I would also like to note for the Commission's knowledge that the regulation that currently exists in the Traffic Commission that restricts parking within 20 feet of any intersecting way or crosswalk will be reinforced as part of this project through signage and pavement markings to confirm that that is to enforce that regulation and to prevent that by motor vehicles. Quickly zooming in so that the Commission can get a more detailed understanding of these items. This is for items 12 and 13 here. This is Pearl Street, left, right, and Franklin Street, north, south, as labeled here. Today, there is residential parking permit only permitted here and permitted here. It is also signed as a loading zone currently from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., regulated at other hours at this location. However, given the location of this fire hydrant and this crosswalk here at this intersection, this is actually illegal based on our Traffic Commission regulations. So our proposal is to move this back on this side of the fire hydrant so that you actually have enough room for either a couple of sedans, smaller vehicles, or a loading and delivery vehicle, as well as adding a residential permit parking only regulation so that residents have the ability to park here overnight and that it doesn't go unregulated. And we also have a no parking anytime regulation that we're requesting here. The curb is very narrow in this particular location. So in order to provide an accessible path where we're building the raised intersection here, we do need to build a sidewalk out around these trees. It was either remove the trees or build out the sidewalk. So we've chosen to build out the sidewalk, and that will require a no parking anytime restriction. And then secondly, on piece number 2, on Pearl at Cross, this is not necessary as part of the Pearl Street changes. However, one of the things that we heard from some of the business owners on this block is that the current setup here doesn't work super well for their needs. There's currently a loading zone here. Again, this is similar to at Franklin, where it's a loading zone during the day, but goes unregulated overnight. And then there's 2-hour parking except by permit. So anyone with a residential permit can park here at any time during the day. So our proposal is to push the loading zone back slightly from the intersection, as we're doing at all intersections on this project. Give a little bit more length to that loading zone, add that residential permit parking regulation, and then add a couple meters back here as well from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. To provide some 1 or 2 hour parking for customers of these businesses and of these daycares on this block, and then make that residential permit parking overnight so that residents can continue to utilize this space as well. And that's all I've got.
Very well done, Adam. Up for discussion. Yes, Lena.
Hi, my internet just kind of blipped in and out, so I apologize. But thank you to Mobility for showing this, not only showing us this, but also the thoughtful work that's gone into this design overall. I fully support restricting parking at intersections, and I think of the great work that we did in getting the city to basically go down to 20 miles an hour. I think the term is daylighting an intersection, meaning that pedestrians are going to not be peering around a car that's parked there. And to me, that is another low-hanging fruit pedestrian safety measure. I fully support all of the daylighting here and also moving the loading zones. Yeah, I thank you guys. This is great.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve or deny these items? I believe it was 12 through 16. Is that correct, Adam?
Correct.
A motion to approve or deny items 12 through 16, please.
Make motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Thomas Graney,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 3 yeses and 1 abstain. Items number 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 all pass.
Wonderful. All right, we're ready for the next bundle, Adam.
Great. All right, items 17 through 21 all relate to the intersection of Cross Street at where it meets Gilman Street and Oliver Street. Item number 17, regarding the curb on the east side of Cross Street from approximately 20 feet north of Oliver Street to approximately 60 feet north of Oliver Street. Request to convert the current bus stop approved. This one's a little interesting. It is currently a bus stop, but was approved to become two-hour parking except by permit at the September 2021 Traffic Commission meeting to no parking anytime. Item number 18, regarding the curb on the north side of Gilman Street from approximately 80 feet west of Cross Street to approximately 20 feet west of Cross Street. Request to convert the current residential permit parking only regulation to no parking anytime. Item number 19, regarding the curb on the south side of Gilman Street from approximately 55 feet west of Cross Street to approximately 20 feet west of Cross Street. Request to convert the current residential permit parking only regulation to no parking anytime. Item number 20, regarding the curb on the north side of Oliver Street from approximately 70 feet east of Cross Street to approximately 20 feet east of Cross Street. Request to convert the current residential permit parking only regulation to no parking anytime. And finally, item number 21, regarding the curb on the south side of Oliver Street from approximately 75 feet east of Cross Street to approximately 20 feet east of Cross Street. Request to convert the current residential permit parking only regulation to no parking anytime. I apologize, I don't have an easier diagram to show everyone. However, we just wrapped up the construction plan, so this is what I'm able to provide at this time. This is just a quick overview of what we're actually proposing here. It is a fully raised intersection to improve pedestrian safety at this intersection. We have bollards to keep keep vehicles off the sidewalk, since it will be, it's about a good 100-foot stretch there that will be raised, but will surely slow vehicles down as they're traversing this intersection. And then we'll also be expanding upon the contraflow bike treatments that we implemented a few years ago, making those a little bit more permanent and a little bit more official and work better for everyone. So we'll have a median refuge island, a small one at the mouth of both Gilman and Oliver, and we'll lengthen those contraflow bike lanes a little bit just to make sure that there's sufficient separation between cars exiting these intersections and bikes entering them. And I believe that's this is a new crosswalk as well. So there's currently no crosswalk at this intersection to get across Cross Street. You either have to go all the way down to Fountain Ave or maybe even further. And I believe the next one north is at up at Pearl. So there's a very long stretch with no crosswalk. So there will be a new crosswalk within this raised intersection to cross here. So currently, there is residential permit parking on the side streets. Just so everyone knows, in terms of how I've shown these diagrams, where there is a driveway and there's parking not allowed, I did sort of end the box at those locations. So there's a long stretch of curb here and that kind of goes out of the screen, but at these particular locations, there's a driveway right here, for example, and this is a driveway here, there, and there. So I kind of cut it off so that it was a little bit easier to understand where parking is and isn't permitted, given the regulation. So there's residential permit parking currently on those side streets. On Cross Street itself, it is a bus stop today. The MBTA will be going out there soon to remove the bus stop, which was approved to be replaced with 2-hour parking except by permit, which is what most of Cross Street is currently, and that was approved at the September 2021 Traffic Commission meeting. However, to accommodate these changes that I just showed everyone, we would request, and that is item number 17, I believe, that rather than being replaced with 2-hour parking, that only this space closest to this driveway here becomes 2-hour parking, that the rest becomes no parking anytime, as well as these spaces here become no parking anytime, which if you overlay this with the plan, lines up with where we're showing those bike contraflow treatments and some of the slightly wider sidewalks that will also be part of the raised intersection.
Nice. Discussion, Lena.
Again, I want to thank you for this little anecdote. Some members of the Somerville Bicycle Advisory Committee went on a bike ride with Mayor Ballantyne and her staff, and we actually wanted to show this contraflow lane. And so we were gonna, turn and bike into it. There was a large truck coming the other way. It was actually a very harrowing experience. And also feedback from Mayor Ballantyne is that basically that she wouldn't feel comfortable on contraflow that just ended that quickly, and so to extend the markings and to show that this is where you can be is really important. That was feedback that I got. And then also to kind of open up that intersection so that if there is going to be a big truck, at least we can kind of move to the side, or they can make a turn much more freely than they were able to, at least when we were there in the morning. So I support this. I think it's great design, and it'll really improve it. And I think you really need to think about pedestrian safety and slowing traffic if you're going to invite people onto a contraflow bike lane. So that's great. It's a good combo of everything. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, a motion to approve or deny items 17 to 21.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
A roll call vote, please, on items number 17 through 21.
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Tom Graney,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 3 yeses and 1 abstain. Items number 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21 pass.
Wonderful. On to our next bundle, Adam.
Let's keep going. Item number 22 is a solo one regarding the curb on the south side of Oliver Street from approximately 20 feet west of Glen Street to approximately 40 feet west of Glen Street. Request to convert the current residential permit parking only regulation to no parking anytime. This is going to be the location of a future neighborhood traffic circle. I already described that the other two that we'll be proposing for this year are located actually further up Glen at Pearl, and then on Pearl at Myrtle. For this particular treatment, there is, so this section of Oliver is two-way over here, so we don't need a contraflow bike lane, but currently we do have a contraflow bike lane, and similar to the treatment that we were just speaking about over on Cross at Gilman and Oliver. The idea is that we just give a little bit more room for cyclists to get out of the way, and to separate any potential conflicts for motor vehicles that are coming, heading westbound on Oliver Street. And so for that, there's currently, and for the record, I'm not showing, there is parking on other areas here, but I've just been highlighting the area that we're speaking about, or is referenced on the agenda today for any given location. There's currently residential parking here to this driveway, 20 feet from this intersection, and the proposal for item number 22 is to convert that to no parking anytime to move this bike lane that you can see here down to the curb.
This item's up for discussion. Any discussion? Hearing none, can I get a vote to approve or deny item number 22, please?
I will make a motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote on item number 22 to approve.
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Thomas Graney,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel.
Yes.
Okay, so by a vote of 3 yeses and 1 abstain, item number 22 passes.
Thank you. All right, Adam, next bundle, please.
All right, we're moving, almost there. Items 23 through 26 are in reference to Temple Street at the intersection of Heath Street and Sewell Street. Item 23, regarding the curb on the east side of Temple Street from approximately 80 feet south of Sewell Street to approximately 20 feet south of Sewell Street, request to convert the current residential permit parking only regulations to no parking anytime. Item 24, regarding the curb on the east side of Temple Street from approximately 20 feet north of Sewell Street to approximately 75 feet north of Sewell Street. Request to convert the current residential permit parking only regulation to no parking anytime. Item number 25, regarding the curb on the west side of Temple Street from approximately 70 feet north of Heath Street to approximately 20 feet north of Heath Street. Request to convert the current residential permit parking only regulation to no parking anytime. And item number 26, regarding the curb on the west side of Temple Street from approximately 20 feet south of Heath Street to approximately 75 feet south of Heath Street. Request to convert the current residential permit parking only regulation to no parking anytime. On Temple Street at Heath and Sewell, here is the current construction plan. The idea on Temple is to build, again, a brand new crosswalk that does not currently exist anywhere in the vicinity of Heath and Sewell to cross Temple. On the south side of the street here, while we would have liked to create one on the north side as well, there is a long driveway here where that prevents us from doing that. However, we are able to get a new one on the south side. Those will be coupled with median refuge islands to both force vehicles around and to do a chicane movement, which will slow them down, as well as to give pedestrians an opportunity to cross one lane of traffic, stop, look in the other direction if needed, and then be able to cross, assuming that traffic yields in the other direction. That will be coupled with taking the bike lanes that are currently on Temple Street, pushing them to the end, protecting them with flex posts so that cyclists remain safe through this intervention, and then pushing them, tapering that all back into the existing condition, about, like we were saying, somewhere between 70 and 80 feet north and south of the intersection. So today, as is explained in these items on the agenda, here are the current locations of residential permit parking. Here's this long driveway here, which is why this one's a little bit further from this intersection. So there's no parking at this particular corner. Starts here, goes back to this driveway, parking in these areas as well, up to this driveway, and then it extends over here. And then the proposal, as shown, is to restrict parking to allow for these tapers around for the new median refuge island that will be built back as far as here. This one, there's a driveway here, but parking will continue just out of the screen on the top left there.
Wonderful. Up for discussion? Questions? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve items number 23 to 26, please?
I will make that motion to approve.
I get a second.
Second.
Roll call vote, please, on items number 23 to 26, please.
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Thomas Graney,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel.
Yes.
Okay, that's a vote of 3 yeses and 1 abstain. Items number 23, 24, 25, 26 pass.
Thank you. Your next bundle item, Adam.
All right, I think this is the last one. These last batch of items are in regards to safety improvements that we are planning on Walnut Street at Gilman Street, where it meets Ed Leathers Park as well. Item number 27, regarding the curb on the east side of Walnut Street from approximately 50 feet north of Medford Street to approximately 150 feet north of Medford Street. Request to convert the current residential permit parking only regulation to no parking anytime. Item number 28, regarding the curb on the east side of Walnut Street from approximately 20 feet south of Gilman Street to approximately 70 feet south of Gilman Street. Request to convert the current residential permit parking only regulation to no parking anytime. Item number 29, regarding the curb on the east side of Walnut Street from approximately 20 feet north of Gilman Street to approximately 60 feet north of Gilman Street. Request to convert the current residential permit parking only regulation to no parking anytime. Item number 30, regarding the curb on the west side of Walnut Street from approximately 215 feet north of Medford Street to approximately 345 feet north of Medford Street. Because I didn't have a better point of reference, request to convert the current residential permit parking only regulation to no parking anytime. Item number 31, regarding the curb on the south side of Gilman Street from approximately 20 feet east of Walnut Street to approximately 40 feet east of Walnut Street. Request to convert the current residential permit parking only regulation to no parking anytime. And lastly, item number 32, regarding the curb on the north side of Gilman Street from approximately 20 feet east of Walnut Street to approximately 50 feet east of Walnut Street. Request to convert the current residential permit parking only regulation to no parking anytime. The scope of Walnut at Gilman, for everyone's reference, is a slightly longer, as you could probably tell based on these items. The lengths of curb that we're discussing are a little bit longer than some of the other intersections we discussed today. That's because there is a confluence of a number of different things at this particular location. On the west side of the screen here, you have Ed Leathers Park, where we're currently working on designing a new bike connection through the sort of upper portion, the southern portion of this park, to then connect cyclists across this neighborway here from Ed Leathers Park. Actually, sorry, it's right here, in which case they will go down to Gilman or vice versa and be able to continue along this neighborway route that way. It will also include a crosswalk, which does not exist today for pedestrians, a raised crosswalk at the pedestrian pathway within the park that does exist today. And then all of that will be coupled with a two-way cycle track, not just to make this connection across Walnut here, but also extending out of the screen to the community path extension. There will be a community path crossing on Walnut just off the screen here in the not too distant future, definitely by the end of the year. And so all of this is in reference to being able to pursue this plan and making sure that we have both safe pedestrian and bike connections through the various movements that we expect people to be making through this section of Somerville. It is currently all residential permit parking in these areas at this time on both Walnut Street and on Gilman. And the proposal, as discussed in these items, is to restrict parking at all of the locations shown. There's no current parking. Parking is currently not permitted on the bridge itself, nor at any of these locations that are not highlighted here. But we are requesting these no parking anytime regulations to achieve this design at the locations shown. Residential parking permit only is retained here because I forgot to add the language to the agenda to convert this regulation. So we will be discussing this at a future meeting, but thankfully this construction here is not imminent. So we will be able to take up an item to convert this residential permit parking only as well at a future meeting, which is more or less where the community path extension will be.
All right, any discussions on these items 27 to 32? Hearing none, may I get a motion to approve or deny items 27 to 32, please?
I will make a motion to approve.
May I get a second?
Second.
May I get a roll call vote to approve items 27 to 32, please?
Lena Webb,
Yes.
Thomas Graney,
Yes.
Lieutenant Rymel.
Yes.
By a vote of 3 yeses and 1 abstain, item number 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32 pass.
Great. Before we adjourn, I just want to give a particular thank you and shout out. I am very impressed with the Mobility Department and yourself, Jessica. This has been a phenomenal changes that you guys are doing for our city, for our residents to be able to work, live, and play in this phenomenal, great city. And I want to thank you both and both your departments for your due diligence and your true, authentic caring about our residents and the safety within our city. So a big applause goes to you both. Thank you for this presentation. It was very thorough, it was very detailed. And we are very lucky to have both you guys in our city and working for this city. So thank you.
Agreed.
Chair.
I'll second that.
All righty. May I get a motion to adjourn this meeting, please?
I will make that motion to
Can I
adjourn.
get a second? Can I get
I
a
guess
second?
I'll second it.
All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you guys very much and have a wonderful evening.
Night,
Thank you.
everyone.